So as you can see, this is what my aim looks like. Very, very sticky. Even though this is my first game, my hand is still very accurate. So if you want your aim to be like that and you don't want your aim to be shaky like this, I'm going to show you how you guys can do that. So you can either have your aim to be very sticky like this, or you can have your aim to be shaky like this. Alright, so let me just open up my DS. So I'm going to be giving you my Warzone settings, and I'm also going to be giving you my DS4 settings. So all you just have to do is to open your DS4. As you can see, I have a profile created already. So you don't have to create a profile, you just have to click on the profile and you click on new, and you can create a profile and name it wherever. So that's not the main focus for today's video. So today's video is just about DS4 and my in-game Warzone settings. So if I click on edit, this is what my settings looks like. I'm just gonna make this full screen so you guys can, I don't even think there's any difference if I make it full screen or not. So let me just kind of scroll this down a little bit. So as you can see, for my LS, which is actually in controller, you can either choose flick, stick, or controls. So in controls, and for my dead zone is in radial, and for my dead zone is in 0.08. My max dead zone is in 1. My anti-dead zone, guys, this part is very, very important. I noticed for some people, they're always playing on this anti-dead zone, they're always putting it in 0. Guys, we put it in 0. For example, let me just put it in 0, and let me show you guys what my aim looks like in the game. You'll notice that my aim is going to be so shaky. My aim is going to be so shaky. It's going to be so shaky. I can't even make this up. It's going to be so shaky. So you have to put this in 0.10 as I did earlier. So 0.10. So that's going to make your aim stable. And for my max dead zone is in 1. My vertical scale is in 1. My sensitivity is in 1. So for my output curve is in linear, and you can just copy all these settings that you can see right here. Also for my RS is in radial, is in controls, and for my dead zone is in 0.08. My max dead zone is in 1. My anti-dead zone is in 2. Let me actually change this to 1. You can just test this out. If 2 works out fine for you, then you can use 2. I'm just going to change this to 1 because I actually have my this one in 1. The LS is in 0.10, so I feel like I should also put this one in 0.10. Though I've been playing with 0.20 all this while, but let's just test out that other settings. So as for my output curve is in linear, and you can just copy the rest of the settings, like the outer BTN dead is in 0 points. You can just copy all these other settings also. And I noticed that some players actually put for their L2 R2, some put this in 5, but let me just put it in 2. I don't know, for people they crank this up to 10, but mine has been in 1 since all these days. So I'm just going to test this out. You don't really have to change this, you can just leave yours in 1. So I'm just trying to just test it out. So this is what my other settings looks like, if you are wondering. So for the light bar, you don't need any of this. For those that play with gyroscope, this is actually for touchpad. This is for gyroscope. I didn't actually play with that, but this is what my settings look like. So for my outer, I actually play with a PS5 controller, but I prefer to leave this as Xbox 360 because I'm playing on PC, and PC by default is actually, if you're playing with a Windows, it actually comes by default as an Xbox 360. So just for it to be easier for my controller to easily read it, that's why I left this as Xbox 360. So for this part, you just need to change this to 1000 HZ. That is if you are playing on what's it called, you're playing with Bluetooth. But if you're actually playing with COD also, you can actually still leave it in 1000 M. So I think that's all the settings you need to know for here. And I actually switch my shooting. I actually shoot with L1 R1. So let me just show you guys the settings in game real quick. And go to controller. As you can see, I actually swapped this, my LB actually swapped this to L1 R1. So actually shoot with L1 R1. So this is what my L2 looks like. I actually recorded a macro on my L2. So if you're trying to see what my macro value looks like, this is what my macro value looks like. So if you don't know how to you don't have to record the macro, you can watch all my other videos. This video is not literally about macro, and actually make this my this is why I used to press my triangle. As you can see, it is recorded as triangle. So anytime I click on this touchpad on my controller, it's going to plate up, or it's going to use it to switch the weapon. So for my Steam, this is what I recorded as my Steam. So I click on triangle, and I recorded this triangle as my left trigger. So anytime I click on triangle, it's going to work as this. So as for my R2, I actually recorded a macro for shooting. So anytime I click on this R2, if I have a pistol, it's going to keep on shooting the pistol. As you can see, this is what the value also looks like. So I don't have to be clicking on this R1 one by one to keep on shooting my pistol. I can just hold this down so it can keep spamming the shots on my pistol. So for my R2, I actually recorded this button right here as my R2. So anytime I click on that button, it's going to register as my R2 right here. I think that's all you need to know if you're playing like this. So the other settings I want to show you guys, if you come over to my controller reading, you'll notice I'm having 0 input delay. So for it to be if you haven't done the settings that I'm going to be showing you now, you notice that your input delay is going to be shaking on your controller. So it's not good if you are playing with input delay and you're playing on PC, because it's going to just like make you kind of slow. So it's not really visible, but it's just an advantage. So it does need to have this software called HID USB-F installed on your PC. So once you have done that, you can actually watch my other videos if you want to learn how to download it. So once you have installed that and you have unzipped the file, you just have to come over to the driver right here and you open the setup. So once you have opened the setup, it's going to show something like all and mice. So let's just see. I don't know why this stuff just keep on. I'm trying to remove that RAV stuff. Just keep up messing up my PC. Alright, so as you can see right here, this is what it looks like as the USB, the HID USB. When you open it up, this is what it looks like. So you're just going to change this to all, and you'll see a part where it says the dual sense edge. So you're going to click on this, and you're going to make sure it's in yes, and this value is in 8000. So for you to be able to do that, you just have to check mark this fill on device, and you enable this. You change this to 8000 and you click on install service. Then after you click on restart, I've already set it up. So once you set it up, you notice that you won't be having an input delay on your controller anymore. And also for those that if you feel like your controller isn't working properly, you can actually install these PlayStation what's it called, accessories. It's just going to update your controller and tell you if there's any update on your PS5 controller. As I told you earlier, I'm playing on a PS5 controller, so if you need this, you can just install this also. So it's just going to, I don't know why it's not opening. I don't know why my PC is okay. It already opened. I didn't actually see it. So this is it right here. So it's going to tell you if there's any update on your controller, or if your PS5 controller is having any issue. As you can see, there is no any firmware update. My controller is up to date. So it's time for me to show you guys what my settings in game looks like. So if I come over to controller, as you can see, I play with 1.80, and that's where my horizontal stick sensitivity is and my vertical stick sensitivity is. As you can see, as I told you earlier, I shoot with L1 R1, so I have to enable this. I have to turn this on. So if you are shooting with R2 L2, you don't have to turn this on. It's only if you are shooting with R1 L1, that's when you have to on this. So for my dead zone inputs, I'm actually having what's it called, stick drift on my R2. I'm actually having stick drift on my what's it called, my analog stick. I'm having stick drift on my right analog stick and my left analog stick, so that's why this is a 9. I'm actually trying to get a new controller right now. So if you are not having any stick drift, you can leave this in 0. You don't have to change this value. So let me just show you how you can check if you're having stick drift. You just have to text, you have to turn on this test stick dead zone, and if you move, hold on, and if you move your stick drift, if this value you are seeing right here is in 0, that means you are not having any stick drift. So if this value, I don't know why this stuff keep moving. So if this value you are seeing right here is in 0 for the right stick and the left stick, it means you're not having any stick drift. So just watch if I change this value to 0. If I change this value to 0, just look at the stick drift I'll be having now. Funny enough, I'm not having any stick drift, but let me do it again for the other one. I don't know why I'm not having any stick drift, but I usually have stick drift. But it's funny how my stick drift has disappeared right now that I'm making the video. I don't know, this type of thing is to just baffle me sometimes. So right now I'm not having any stick drift, but I usually have stick drift. That's why I have that value in 8 and 8. So anyway, so let me just show you what my aiming settings looks like real quick. So you just have to, this is what the settings looks like, and just copy and paste all these settings. But I feel like this is the settings I need the most. So for my ADS sensitivity, I have it in instant. My third person as is in assist. You can just copy all these settings, guys. I don't have to keep mentioning it one by one. I actually have this turned off. So for my movement settings, I have it in tactical sprint, and when I click on show more, as you can see, it's in 0 and everything is turned on. So for my mantle assist, I have this in low mantle assist, but I recommend you should always turn this off, because it won't let you climb on windows. When you come close to any object that you can climb, it won't allow you to jump over to the window. So it's actually useful sometimes, and it's actually very, very bad sometimes. So if you notice, all pros, you don't usually turn this on. So for my crouch assist is turned off, my corner slides is turned off, my slide slash dive behavior is tap to slide. So anytime I want to dive, I'll have to hold down my R3 and hold down my O, so it's going to slide that way. So that's what the settings looks like. So for my movement advanced settings is in, as you can see, sprint slash tactical sprint behavior is in toggle. You can just copy all these settings also. Alright, so for the combat, I don't think you really need these settings, but if you need to look at these settings, you can just copy it. So my armor plate behavior is in apply all. So anytime I hold down triangle, which is my touchpad, is going to keep on applying my plates. And my C4, for those that use C4, is 1 by 1. And my combat advanced settings, this is what it looks like. So you guys can just copy it. So I feel like that's all you need to know. That's all you need to do. And if you're wondering how to YY, as I already told you earlier, I've made a lot of videos concerning how you guys can YY, so you can watch any of all those videos. So it's not really hard for you to become a pro in Warzone. I think that's where I'll be ending this video. And if you found this video, don't forget to smash that like button and comment if this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.